Hello everyone with 6 here, bringing another cast today. This one is a really high-ranking ladder match on the map Red Rocks, a fairly new addition to the ladder pool that's fairly interesting, so I wanted to show it off a bit with some high-level play. Alright, so let's introduce our players first. Up here in the top corner, we have Leon, who is going Blue Seraphim, going first land with, looks like 6 P-Gens, with second air as well. And down on the bottom side, we have ZLO, who was going red UEF with his first land. It looks like 8 P-Gens and then Air Factory there as well. Alright, so let's speed it up a bit because both are going to have to get their expansion phase. Alright, so a little bit about the map. You have, of course, your home 4 mexes, but you also have 2 mexes right here that you can access, another mex up here, and plus these 2 mexes and a hydro that's above a ledge. So you have to either edge build or drop engineers up here in order to get these things. Then you also have these expansions over here. We have some rocks and some mexes on it, plus the giant island in the middle, which has 10 mexes on it, plus a whole bunch of rocks scattered around the map. You have a big reclaim field right here in the middle, but you also have rocks scattered all over the island. So holding this island is very important. That both players are going to probably want to get to this right away. Alright, so as you can see, over here ZLO is expanding. He has gotten all 4 of his mexes. He's got 5 P-Gens down so far, and then he's going to build his air factory after that. Meanwhile, Leon, however, he's just building his air factory just now. He has engineers expanding outward with his that are reclaiming. Let's see what their orders are. So yeah, he's manually reclaiming the rocks down here by the ledge, and he has the other engineers over here trying to claim these exterior mexes. He also has a single Zooey with the Seraphim floating unit that can just cross the truck. That can cross the channel and then basically try to harass any engineers that ZLO sends over here, since ZLO as UEF does not have any hover units at the T1 phase. It looks like that ZLO had just gotten his first air scout out, which is mirrored over here by Leon, who has his air scout out, plus an interceptor. So we'll see if this interceptor catches the air scout. It won't. So both players are going to have some intel over the map, over their opponent's base. Here is ZLO scanning Leon's base, and then here you have Leon's interceptor, who will be scanning over ZLO's base over here. Neither of which are caught by interceptors, so both of which are going to have a fairly good idea what their opponent is going to do. It looks like that ZLO, however, does have some engineers over here. He is going to build 3 factories on the center island, plus he's going to try to pick up some reclaim with this engineer. Looks like Leon also has some engineers over here. He's going to build this mex first and then build this land factory. He might have some other planned. He has one planned up here that's probably going to be built by the commander. I can't see the order from here, but that's probably what's going to happen. Meanwhile, it looks like that ZLO has the first bomber out. He is just going around the island trying to look for things. Here's this first Zooey that ZLO sent out. We don't need the increased speed anymore. All right, so it looks like that Zooey just got taken out by this bomber, but not before that Zooey took out a mex. Meanwhile, here's a bomber from Leon over here that's going to take out this engineer that's building this mex over here, so that's going to stop ZLO's expansion a little bit. Meanwhile, both players have brought their commanders to the middle. Here's Leon right here, who is building this land factory I was talking about earlier, and then you have ZLO over here, who's going to be assisting his factories, his engineers, building the factories. This bomber just took out another engineer, but since the commander is already here, it's not going to stop him from building the factory. It's just going to slow him down a little bit. I'm not seeing as much expansion to the outside as of yet. We do have this engineer over here from Leon that is traveling out to try to take out this area. He's got at least this land factory right here, plus anything else he's going to queue up with that engineer after that factory builds. So it looks like both players are trying to establish a land presence on the middle island. Looks like ZLO is going to grab all the reclaim right here. Let's see the reclaim numbers actually. It looks like that this is Supreme Score right here. ZLO has over 1.6 thousand mass over here, so that's just from reclaiming this here in the middle. Looks like that Leon is going to move his engineer up, so that's not going to last for too much longer. He is going to try to get the rest of the reclaim in this area and farm all the small rocks. But it looks like ZLO was able to get a T2 mass extractor out of that deal already, so he already has an eco advantage. Is all 6 more mass per tick compared to Leon, who doesn't have any upgraded extractors at all. However, Leon may have put all that mass into to actual units. He's actually power stalling. That actually kind of surprises me. Is ZLO power stalling? He's not. ZLO is actually overflowing on power and has a fairly healthy reserve of mass. He's not stalling or overflowing at this point. But Leon needs to get his power situation figured out. It looks like he didn't build enough power for how much mass he was going to get, and he probably Just needed to build more power in his opening build a little bit. Meanwhile, it looks like that the commander and this engineer are going to just continue reclaiming all the little small rocks, and it looks like that there is going to be some FAMs and an anti-air built here to help ward off any more bombers from ZLO. Meanwhile, ZLO has pretty significant air force right here. That's 6 interceptors plus a bomber. He's probably going to try to harass this area over here. Does Leon have as big of an air force? He probably doesn't, since he was power stalling. He's got 9 interceptors, actually. 9 interceptors compared to ZLO's... Come on, let me click it. 12 interceptors for ZLO. So ZLO has a slightly bigger air force, but a little bit of micro, and that could certainly turn into dominant air force for Leon with a couple lucky turns. Or skilled turns, regardless, depending on your point of view. Looks like that this bomber just took out an engineer from Leon. Is going to stop his expansion and his reclaim here for a little bit. Looks like there is going to be an air engagement right here in the middle. Before that happens, looks like that the bomber is going to be taken out. So before even contesting for air, he's already taken out the bomber. However, the interceptors were going to land, and that gave him that put him at a disadvantage positioning. Since ZLO is just able to go over here and strafe all the interceptors. It looks like with the strafing and the superior numbers, it looks like ZLO is going to win air control from that. There's a transport over here from Leon is going to land on this island. Can he see it? Can ZLO see that? It looks like he can. It just got caught by the radar from this transport. So these interceptors are going to go over here and try to intercept that transport. I don't think it's going to matter, though. He is probably going to get the engineers off before the transport gets shot down. So we have almost fairly even map control on the center island. That's strange enough. A little bit more of an advantage for Leon, but still, ZLO can still contest the middle island fairly well. Like Leon did get a T2 extractor up, so he is trying to catch up with his eco, but he was still slightly behind. He just caught up right now. Ooh, now he's ahead. Now he's got 40 mass per tick instead of 37 for ZLO, but that could have been reclaimed since it's not true anymore. Looks like that Leon is going to push his commander forward. He is going to try to take out this mech from here, plus a couple tanks from ZLO. ZLO's commander is over here doing his own harassment. But it looks like that Leon is a lot closer to ZLO's base, and he is going to be able to harass over here, especially if he gets some units to back him up. However, ZLO does have his air control. It looks like he's got 20 interceptors, a couple that aren't fueled. But now with that, he is going to be able to completely focus on bombers. He's already spammed out 4 bombers. He's probably building more. So there's a 5th bomber just coming up. So there's 5 bombers coming out. He's probably going to use this air harassment. So let's see what he does with it. His bomber is going over here. It's going to run right into this the Lala, the Seraphim anti-air defense. He's going to get one pass off. Is going to take out half of that air defense out, but then the bomber's going to get shot down. Meanwhile, more transports coming over here. It looks like that ZLO just dropped off 1 engineer here. Let's see what it's going to do. I'm not sure what he's probably plans on capping mexes or something from here. There's another engineer coming out over here for Leon. It looks like that somehow ZLO was able to stop Leon's initial expansion here. Now Leon is going to send a transport full of engineers to help just deal with it there. Meanwhile, there is an engagement in the middle. Here's Leon with a superior number of THAMs against the Strikers. THAMs are almost equivalent to Strikers. They're slightly weaker, but you can compare them 1-to-1 in numbers. So it looks like that Leon did have a little bit of an advantage here, but this little raiding party got out. It's going to take out this mechs, and then it's going to move on. It's not going to do much damage to the main base, especially with all the units in there, but that is going to still a nice raiding party from Leon. Looks like that Leon has full control over the south expansion. The north expansion is being contested right now. It looks like that Leon just threw down a point defense and is still building some factories up here. But ZLO does have already has a factory put down, and he is grabbing control of the mexes. So if ZLO realizes that's happening, and he should, then he might be able to counteract that. Speaking of which, looks like ZLO does have some navy out. So there's a frigate out from there. A little bit more T1 factories here from ZLO. So he is probably going to plan on frigate spam. Meanwhile, no navy from Leon. Is probably just relying on his hover units to help deal with the water. Meanwhile, there's however an Ilshaval. There is looks like he's got T2 land for Leon, plus these two. They're not upgrading, but he did stop them from those T1 factories from producing units, so he is going to be able to save the mass for his Ilshavas. He also has a flak out here, which isn't bad considering that ZLO has the air control, so he is going to be able to help guard this area against the bombers. Speaking of which, here's a bomber coming over here that's taking out this mass extractor. For some reason, bombers will target mass extractors for anything else. So if you just let them go, they'll target mass extractors and not units or anything else. Meanwhile, there is a ZLO does have a bunch of coordinated bombers that are coming here. They're going to try to take out this factory. It looks like he tried to take out the engineers too. So now ZLO is trying to suppress this area, help destroy it from the air, and is probably going to colonize it later. However, there is it looks like that Leon did build up his air force. He is going to try to shoot down all these bombers with these interceptors that are coming in. Does he still have more interceptors than ZLO? ZLO probably did stop his interceptor production. Looks like Leon has 24 interceptors compared to ZLO's. Oh, wrong button. To ZLO's, what is that? 21 interceptors, plus a bunch of them are out of fuel. So, if there is an air fight, then it looks like Leon might be able to take back the air. Plus, he also has T2 land on the island. So it's not looking too good for ZLO. Looks like ZLO is bringing the Navy in to help to suppress this area too. However, it looks like that Leon does have his landing units out, so they are going to take out the engineers that are reclaiming here without any military units to defend them. It looks like that there was an air fight over here. I missed that. I'm sorry. It looks like that Leon has a bit of an advantage over here. The other interceptors over here that are out of fuel are going to be late to the party, and ZLO's interceptors are already going to be shot down before. Probably going to be shot down before. I might be completely wrong at that. Let's see what's going to happen first. Yeah, it looks like that Leon is going to win this air fight right here. And so Leon is going to take air control back. Here's Leon's commander that's going straight up to ZLO's commander. Should be focusing on this. So it looks like that Leon's commander isn't upgraded. Neither is ZLO's. ZLO has this point defense over here to help him out, though. Was that an overcharge? I think that was an overcharge. It means he probably has... He doesn't. It couldn't have been overcharged. I'm sorry. So just two relatively equal commanders here, plus the point defense to put the edge in ZLO's favor right there. So Leon is going to retreat, but he is going to bring these Ilshavas and the flak up too to help support his commander. Looks like Leon does have T2 air as well. He has these the Seraphim torpedo bombers out to help deal with the Navy. The frigates are going to try to shoot back at the interceptors, try to clear out the Navy a bit, but Leon is going to try to use the torp bombers to deal with the frigates. Looks like that ZLO has T2 Navy as well. Not T2 Navy, T2 Air. Here's some gunships over here from Leon, and plus a Stinger over here from ZLO. This is a Stinger, so the Stinger is going to engage the Volthus directly. The Volthus trying to take out this factory. It's not going to work. The interceptors and the Stinger are going to take it out. However, it looks like that the frigates are going to fight back against the torp bombers and are going to shoot it down. However, it looks like that ZLO is losing map control over here. It looks like he's got. Looks like Leon has more engineers going to try to claim this max plus that max over there. There are more Volthus in the middle that ZLO is not contesting right here. Has THAMs moving all over the island, so he might lose this. There's a Stinger over here. It's carrying something. What is it carrying? I can't see the logo, but I can see that it's carrying something. Here's is that a mech marine? It had to be a mech marine. It's the only T1 bot they have. So Stinger just brought an engineer over here, probably trying to capture that mech or build something on it. Leon is going to take complete control of the north expansion, probably going to cap those extractors soon. Looks like that Leon is going to try to move forward into ZLO's commander again. He's already low in health from the engagement before, but ZLO he didn't kill the point defense, but it looks like that he's going to bring some Ilshavas in to help deal with this. The Volthus is going to come in and try to kill in the point defense. Looks like that ZLO could be in trouble here. ZLO bringing his entire air force here to help ward off the Volthus. It is going to get the Volthus to go away. However, there is a bunch of flak in the area, so he can't stay here for long. The frigates over here tried to crowd up here by the commander, but they don't have very much range, so they're not going to be able to do very much inland. However, it looks like that Leon is going to just march closer into ZLO's production base right here. He's not producing anything. I'm not sure why. He might think that it's pointless here, or he could be mass stalling. He is mass stalling, so he didn't want to throw any more mass against this into these production facilities. However, the production facilities are going to go down soon. Looks like ZLO flew his air force over Leon's navy, so it is going to help deal some damage to those. Not the navy, the Ayashavas. So he is going to help thin out ZLO's air force here. But look, how many interceptors does he have? He looks like he probably went ham on building interceptors. He's got 49 interceptors there compared to compared to Leon's 28 interceptors. So ZLO does have air control again. He hasn't definitively taken it back, but he does have a lot more interceptors, and if he engaged over here, especially over all these frigates, he might take it back. The flak over here, actually there's no flak. He must have destroyed all the flak, I'm not sure how though. So it looks like that despite the massive map control advantage, looks like that Leon isn't very much higher in eco. How many T2 mexes does he have? It looks like that, so that's 4 T2 mexes for Leon, and for ZLO that is, how many is that? That is 9 T2 mexes for ZLO, plus he's got a lot of them in his base capped, and he's still capping them. So that's where, so ZLO, he's losing map control, but he's ecoing in his base, so it is kind of making up for it now. Looks like that ZLO is a bunch of frigates out, still producing frigates from his factories over here. Looks like that production base is going to go down, despite ZLO's, actually no, he's probably going to save it. I thought this attack was a lot bigger than it was, but it looks like that ZLO is going to be able to save his base right here. It is going to be heavily damaged, though. Meanwhile, looks like that there's going to be more units produced here from Leon. He's got a bunch of Zoes. He's probably going to try to, he's probably planning on doing something with that. We'll see what he does with it. He is jumping into the water, too. He was building this T1 factory, but he is going to try to build these torp launchers first to help ward off ZLO's navy before he gets his production online, so that his production doesn't end right before it begins. ZLO throwing a bunch of air scouts out here, trying to look for something. Probably the commander. Here's the commander right here. He does have anything that could snipe it with. He's got stingers, but I don't think he could snipe with those. He doesn't have enough. Plus, Leon has a bunch of flak and Volthus to defend himself with. Here's some Ilshavas moving in here. Try to take out. Looks like they're targeting ZLO. They're moving forward, so it's actually auto targeting. The stingers are going to come up here and try to deal with these. Deal with the Ilshavas. However, it forces ZLO to cancel a T2 upgrade. I don't know how much he was on it, like how far of an upgrade is it, but he probably just wasted a bunch of mass right there. So that was a positive for Leon. Here's a bunch of here's a transport full of Zoes that are going to try to move in towards the commander. However, it looks like that the interceptors are attacking, and it looks like that the interceptors were able to shoot down the transport before the Zoes were able to disembark. So it was a nice plan, but it just didn't work out for him. However, these flak are going to move forward and probably tear a pretty big hole in ZLO's Air Force. Over here on the Navy side, looks like that Leon rushed a T2 Navy, probably trying to get cruisers out, either cruisers or destroyers. But it looks like that ZLO knew it was coming and is throwing all of his frigates here to help deal with it. The T2 factory has 1,700 health on it, so he does have a lot to chew through. It looks like that Leon is going to throw his Zoes out here. However, if ZLO realizes this and his attention is here, then he might be able to micro them. It looks like he's doing that. Look how all the frigates are moving. So the Zoes aren't going to have good target, aren't going to be able to get very good hits on the targets. And that's exactly what you should do. You get frigates out when you're matched up with Zoes, so that the Zoes miss and you hit the Zoes. It looks like that Leon is now bringing some Volthus in to help deal with it. This is going to help. I'm not sure how much is going to help, especially with all these frigates here. Not frigates. I keep getting my units mixed up. All these interceptors here help scare all those Volthus away. It looks like that. Leon was successful getting a destroyer out, but I would have. Oh, I thought he was going to focus fire. He's not going to do that. It looks like he's just going to move over here and try to deal with the Volthus. ZLO did get his T2. T2 commander done, and he is pushing back. It looks like that he did get. He's pushing back and getting map control back from Leon in the middle. However, here's the main fighter here. All the frigates over here that are doing damage to the factory. He's only got 4,000 left, and he is staying out the Volthus, so he probably is going to be able to do this. Looks like that he's trying to bring in more hover. Looks like Leon's trying to bring in more hover units to help deal with this, but it might not work. It looks like he's already down to 16,000. So that'll be a huge mass sink that Leon just threw into this factory just for one destroyer. And if he can't deal with it now, it looks like that entire investment is just going to go into the toilet. Looks like here's Leon's commander over here to help dealing with some T1 from ZLO. Why aren't they they didn't go back for this factory. I don't know why. There's one tiger shark is doing damage to the factory. It looks like that there's some... so I see what they're doing. They're trying to go over here, try to destroy the Zooies first. Then they come back, and there goes the factory. So now the factory's gone. A huge mass chunk just wasted from Leon. And it looks like that Leon, despite having map control most of the game, is losing on eco now. ZLO just completely ecoing out of his mind. He's got his entire home eco is T2 or T2 capped. Looks like so. Now Leon is fighting from a mass disadvantage as well as a unit disadvantage, so it's not looking too well for him. He does have his commander up here that does have gun on it. Looks like there's some 4 flak over here that it's come here with this commander, so ZLO isn't going to be able to just kill the commander with air units without dealing with that first. However, this loss of this T2 factory was a huge blow to Leon. Looks like that the frigates are going to clean up against these Zooies. He's probably lost about 3/5 of his frigate force, but taking out that T2 factory was probably worth it for him. Here's a bunch of stinkers going after this flak. And that right there is why flak is so good against gunships. You just took out 3 gunships out in one shot. The AoE is very devastating to gunships, even though the gunships won that battle. Here's a is that a tac missile? It is a tac missile. Here's a tac missile going from ZLO. Is it targeting against the factory? I think it's targeting on the factory. Just kill the entire factory in one shot. So there's all the production from all the factories from Leon off this island. It looks he is rebuilding them from the engineers. Here's another one. I just heard it. We'll see where this one's going. Look at this one's heading out to this factory over here. So it looks like that ZLO is trying to snipe all the factories off. Here's some stingers going to here, trying to deal with these lane units and that engineer over here. Looks like we have a bunch of air force over here. So I wonder what ZLO's endgame is with this one. So he's got eco control. He could probably tech up and get like T3 air or something, or T2 navy. It looks like he did. He's building a destroyer right here. Is that a destroyer? It is a destroyer. Okay. So he's got T2 navy. He can probably help deal with all this with the expanded range from the navy, especially with the cruisers. Not even talk about the destroyers. And he's got naval control anyway, so he is going to be able to make use of that. It looks like that ZLO has completely cut off Leon and his central force from his mainland. So it looks like that Leon has T2, his gun, he's moving towards ZLO's base. Looks like he's going to move over here, just going to help deal with some stragglers from ZLO. Looks like ZLO built a bunch of air staging facilities just to get his just so his interceptors don't run out of fuel. He has them on patrol, and interceptors only have about 5 minutes worth of fuel, so they will run out of fuel very quickly. So, which is probably why he built all this. Here's one coming here, going to dock right there, get all his fuel back up. Very nice units. I don't know why people don't use them more, especially when you have air control that you need to patrol, air units that you need to patrol. Looks like that Leon is just going to sit here in the middle of all his flak, so he's pretty much impervious to gunships from right there. Let's see what ZLO's going to do about this. He did drop some engineers. He's got a radar right here, so now he's harassing Leon's economy and his home base. Yeah, even though his navy and his air force isn't going to be able to do too much right now. Another naval factory just built from Leon. It looks like that ZLO's probably going to swoop in and destroy that one right away. Looks like Leon built another T2 factory over here, so that's going to be another damage to him. He had to build a T2H headquarters over here, then it got destroyed probably by the TAC, and then he's got to rebuild it over here. So that's 900 mass per factory. That's not cheap. It's depending on the type of the game. With this, as few mechs over here, it's not cheap. Looks like that. Let's speed up a bit. Let's see how ZLO's going to end this. Looks like that Leon built a TAC of his own. Plus a radar, so he's going to be able to see what's going on. Here's the TAC coming in from ZLO. It's going to take out the TAC from Leon. TAC on TAC fighting right there. Here's some cruiser TACs coming out. So now ZLO does have some cruisers out. He is going to be able to rain death upon everything if he can get it close enough to Leon's base. Looks like that Leon is going to move up his commander. It looks like that these flak are moving with him, so they're probably assisting to the commander. Yes, they are. So he can move. So he just moves his commander, and his flak moves in formation with him. That's actually pretty clever. ZLO's Navy over here are going to help cut off, try to cut off any reinforcements that Leon will try to throw into the middle. Looks like that Leon is going to try to push forward now. The cruiser is trying to attack him, but he can't because the missiles do not track. Looks like that the intercept. That looks like that engineer did get this point defense built, but it's not going to matter because the commander is just going to deal with it. So he's moving forward, and he just moved right into a bunch of gunships. Looks like I'm going to slow it back down. Looks like that the flak are going to fire against the gunships. Looks like, but there's a lot of point defense in here from ZLO. So now he's already down to 400, 300, 200, 100, and he's dead. ZLO must have known this was coming and built all these triads in preparation for that. But there probably wasn't anything else he could do. Leon he really had already lost at this point. So just moving in with his commander is basically just one last-ditch attempt to help deal with ZLO, who doesn't have gun, but he does have T2. So he would have probably, if it was just a comm-on-comm fight, Leon might have won that. But with the comm plus the point defense, plus all the engineers, plus attack, plus the Navy running down to him, it wasn't going to help. It wasn't going to work out for him. Just one desperate gamble for victory. All right, so I hope you all enjoyed that match. This is Everyone with 6 signing out.